don't think anyone is surprised that once I knew I was going to leave the throne, my first choice was my mind just moved to Lagos, because this is where
you grew up.
What is he said?
That's where Uncle Wale is.
That's where Uncle Wale is.
Yes.
And where Itwe is, where Achedo is, where all my friends are. Okay. So it's in a sense it's always been home to me. Now when I talk to family and friends on these matters, it's always difficult, but this is very simple. And maybe what I should do is share a story of a conversation with my daughter, the oldest daughter, when we were flown to Abuja and we're about to go to Nasarawa, and they met me at the airport. And she came and was crying. And I said, "Well, why are you crying?" So I said to her, "Look, in our families we believe that God decides who will be a king. He also decides the day you will be the king and the day you will stop being king. So let's assume and take it for granted that those dates have been fixed by God from 8th of June 2014 to 9th March 2020. So that's a question. Said if God had said to you on 9th March 2020 that today is the end of your father's reign, and you have two options. One option is I take his life and he dies on the throne. The other option is I take the throne away but leave him alive and healthy. Which one would you pick?" And she said, "I would rather have you alive." I said, "So why are you crying?" I would not spend one day beyond 9th of March, because that was the end of my term. Somebody else was going to be Emir. And it was either, I've always said it's either you die or you leave. And if you're given life and you don't know how many more years, and given health, and you don't know what else you're going to do, it's just an opportunity to add more things to what you've done in your life. I've been CEO of First Bank, I've been governor of Central Bank, I've been Emir of Kano. I don't know what I'm going to be next. It's just, that's it, and another phase. And I think if you take this attitude, I'm not going to stop anything. I have a LASU convocation lecture I'm going to chair on the 6th of March. I'm going, any fixed events I have, I will turn up at my events, continue with my work, Babongona, continue my work on QIBP, continue with my work on 1 million teachers, on the SDGs, Nothing has changed other than that I don't sit on that throne and I don't ride horses, which I've done for 6 years.
You can still ride horses.
Yes.
You can still ride horses.
In Durban and all that. So for me, I think we should have a very, very positive attitude to this, and we should always never ever define ourselves by positions or by or by possessions. And maybe you remember the famous confrontation I had with the Senate committee when I told them my name is Sanusi, Emir Sanusi, not CBN governor. So you X this, X that, X this, X that. But at the end of the day, you've got to be something yourself, and you've got to be known for who you are. And I look back and I say, look, how many people have the opportunity of seeing when they've ruled? How many people have a chance to know what their people really thought of them? And I think it's a great blessing for me to see what kind of people thought of my success. Because at the end of the day, I was Emir of the people of Kano, not the Emir of the government of Kano. If the people of Kano love me and the government doesn't like me, I would rather have that than be loved by the government and hated by the people. because of the injustice they suffered. And it's nice to see that people are crying, people are grieving, and it says at least that in the years that we were there, we give them good leadership, and we can only pray that whoever comes after continues to give good leadership, and they continue to enjoy good leadership, and that we move on to other things. So for me, it's past. My friend Ijo was asking me if I thought X also supported this, and I said, look, Ijo, when I said God has taken this away, I meant God. I really meant God. So I'm not interested in who liked me, who instigated it, who approved it, who encouraged it, who was it. It is totally immaterial. I'm not going to think about it. I don't even want to be told who did what or who played what role. It's gone, it's gone. It's a line drawn. For me, I've moved on. So I think that this is not something anyone should grieve about, honestly. I think we should think about it. My father lived and died. His father was an emir, but he never became an emir. He died as a crown prince. Just a few weeks ago, we buried our uncle, Ambassador Doseles. He was at 90. He always wanted to be an emir, but God didn't give it to him. I still have an uncle there who's in his 80s, who's been trying to be emir for over 60 years, and he has not made it. So that you've had the opportunity to be there for 6 years, and in our dynasty, okay, Madam Kazwana, there's no reason at all to grieve. There's no reason at all to be sad. There's no reason at all to be depressed. I know it's difficult, but for me, it was never.
I know that.
It wasn't an issue at all. And if you look at the reasons given for a movement, so insubordination to political authority, yeah, big deal. For 201 years since Dabo started, not a single prince whose father was not emir made it to the throne. I was the first. Every other prince after Dabo was the son of an emir. I was the first grandson to defeat sons of emirs. It's a blessing that I should thank God for, and so many things to be thankful for. The structures in the palace will be there for hundreds of years, and it's history. The law we codified for on the Muslim family law, Kaduna State is about to pass it, and Kaduna State has been delayed. Kaduna State is about to pass, or probably the first state to pass the law. 3 years of working with scholars dealing with issues around age of marriage, domestic violence, women's rights, child rights, all these issues of street begging and arresting fathers, they're all in the law. And those are the kinds of things that are essential for transforming society. So for me, I'm proud of just the years that I put in, just like I was proud of the years I put in the central bank. And I'm sure that there'll be many more things I'll be proud of doing going forward, so long as we have life and health, which is all we pray for. And so you can, I would say at the airport, you can always say what, this was an ex-president, this was an ex-governor, this was an ex-emir, an ex-commissioner. You can't say this was an ex-intellectual, this was an ex-intelligent person, this was an ex-educated person. So there are certain things that I hold and I cherish, and those are things that can never be taken away from you. But what these other things, it's just a phase. Just a phase. I wanted to be emir, and alhamdulillah I was, and it's there in the record, and the history is there. And what happens today is not important. When you're dealing with an institution like the Emir, it is when the history of Kano is being written over the next 50 years, 100 years, that is what will really matter. How are you going to be remembered long after you've gone? Not what. You could be on the wrong side of the present, but if the present is dysfunctional, then you're on the right side of history. These are all important considerations. I've done what I could in 6 years. I'm moving on. I don't want to go back. You know. So frankly, the truth is, if I wanted to go back, the letter was so badly written. This was so unprofessionally done. It is the easiest thing in the world to go to court. Fair hearing, High Court, just like today. It's simple, fair hearing. Did you query him? Did you tell him? Did you ask him to defend himself? Did you even call him to ask him any question? No. That's all. You know? But no, I think we should go on with a new phase in life. And